Many of us from both sides of the political aisle have been sold the idea that socialism is good, and we disagree on whether it's possible. However, not many people know that would still be terrible if we could magically implement it today. Firstly, socialism is an economic system that's a hybrid of communism and capitalism, trending towards communism, which itself is a society without money, class, private property, or government. Socialism is defined by increasing government control to a point where there is no private property, and then the government would just willingly dissolve itself to create a super duper fun birthday cake communist utopia. Yeah. Despite the obvious contradictory nature of this process, let's just assume that we do in fact arrive at this so-called free, equal, and abundant communist utopia instead of it being a repeat of failed communist experiment 50 that resulted in an all-powerful totalitarian dictatorship. So, how do the modern, fedora-wearing socialists who reside on Reddit envision their prosperous society? One user states that in a communist society, the wealth is produced, is owned and shared equitably, and there's an overabundance produced. Everyone can have all the wealth they want, and they can have all the living conditions and freedom, and then the working hours and conditions of work will be for the convenience of the workers' education will be lifelong. Okay, so essentially, they want everything to be shared, people can live wherever they want, and they can do whatever they want. There's no police, no government, no private property, and free everything, basically. And we've assumed that this does in fact magically occur. What would happen then? Everything would start to disintegrate the second communism was implemented. Why would this happen? Firstly, no one would want to work, which means no food, no maintenance, which would result in nuclear reactors blowing up, animals running free, children starving on the streets, and violent crime happening everywhere. People would fight, steal from, or kill people for things because no one really owns anything. That doesn't exactly line up with the idea you've been sold about the super free, equal, and prosperous communist utopia, does it? Now, let's drop back into reality land and recognize how if we went for the same thing and tried to implement it like Russia, China, Vietnam, Cuba, and North Korea tried to, we would fail in the same exact way because there needs to be some sort of way to make food, for example. In capitalism, you could choose who to work for based on who gives you the most worth for your time. In communism, you're just forced to work under the threat of force, and because there is no buying or selling, there would be no incentive for competition and better food. So you'd be stuck with the same, if not worse, monopolies that communism tried to prevent. Is this what you want? Is this better than what we have? In conclusion, socialism is a pie-in-the-sky nonsense ideology that politicians use to bribe you with your own money. It's not good in theory, it's not good when implemented, and it's definitely not possible.